December 26th, 2020, Bill Apter, down here in Apter's Alley, and again, the worst job in the world, having to confirm the death of someone. It's just about the end of the year, and wow, I really thought that I wouldn't have to do one of these reports again. I don't want to do these reports, but I feel that people look to me for confirmation of rumors going around. The rumor that went around earlier today about the death of the legendary, the iconic junior heavyweight champion of the world, Danny Hodge, is true. Danny Hodge has died. When you talk about people who gave more to this business than anyone, Danny Hodge is at the top of the list. He was an amazing ring technician. He could shoot, he could work, he could do everything. And he was one of the sweetest people you'd ever want to meet. You know, it's amazing because I don't know why, but I never did an after chat with him. Never got to do it with him. Probably because I wasn't in the areas he was when he was there. But I do remember the few times I met him at some of the wrestling conventions that he'd shake my hand and he'd put a grip on my hand and he'd squeeze it, and I thought my fingers were going to fall off. He did that to everybody. He was known for that. Again, very hard to report that Danny Hodge has died. And I remember one of the great junior heavyweight champions of all time, Angelo Savoldi, before he died a few years ago in his 90s. Danny Hodge was 88. Angelo Savoldi was in his 90s, and I remember him always telling me, anytime we would sit down and talk about the business and the history of the business and great opponents that he had, because he was also a world's junior heavyweight champion, he always cited Danny Hodge as his toughest opponent. He always loved getting in the ring and wrestling with Danny Hodge, because he told me that Danny Hodge pushed him to the limit. It's well known that Danny Hodge was the all-time great hero of Jim Ross, good old JR. And years ago, Jim Ross had the elite honor to induct Danny Hodge into the National Wrestling Alliance Legends Hall of Fame. And I did get to talk to Jim Ross about that, and I'd like to play you that part of the interview. To you fans who were fans of Danny Hodge, and I know there's millions of you out there, please leave a comment and let me know and everyone else know what Danny Hodge meant to you. And if you ever met him, same thing, your experience with Danny Hodge. And if you ever wrestled him, tell me how tough he was. All right, this is Bill Apter. Let's go to that clip with good old JR talking about Danny Hodge on the night he inducted him into the NWA Legends Hall of Heroes. Hello everyone, for OneWrestling.com. This is Bill Apter, and I'm with JR. It's good to see you, Jim Ross.
Good to see you, Bill. How are you?
Been a long time. I'm good.
Good to see you.
So tonight at the Hall of Heroes, it was you inducting Danny Hodge. Mm-hmm. Tell us about when Danny Hodge became your hero.
Oh, I was about 10 years old, 1962. He was on TV every week, and he was the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. He had already won 3 NCAA titles, never lost in college, 2-time Olympian. He was a legitimate Oklahoma hero, along with guys like Jim Thorpe and Mickey Mantle.
Right.
He was there. He was right there with them.
And also, he was, if I remember correctly, wasn't he the first wrestler to ever be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, April 1st, 1957, Danny Hodge was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was also the first man and the only man to ever win the NCAA Wrestling Championship and the National Golden Gloves Boxing Championship. So he was absolutely amazing. Beat everybody in the amateurs in wrestling and beat everybody in the amateurs in boxing.
That's incredible.